Yeah, let's see. Looking good. Me and you.
Hello.
Let me turn this like this. Go to system preferences. Quickly. Quickly. Okay. Zonk that up there. Whoops. And a quick stop of that. And I would say we're cooking with gas
All right.
if I check the driver window. How's it going? Who are you?
My name's Thomas Dodge.
Hi, Tom.
It's nice to meet
Thomas.
you.
I guess you want to be called Thomas if that's what you said it.
Yeah. Or Tom's okay too.
Let me see. I think I can- there we go.
Is it all right if I record audio for this interview?
Yeah, if you can record, I can record. That's my philosophy. Cool. Right. I'm broadcasting this live, though. See, people are going to tune
What's
in.
up, guys?
But it's going to go on YouTube.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm a student. I'm about to graduate actually next week from Emmanuel College. It's in the Fenway.
Are you from Boston area?
I'm actually from Southern Maine,
Okay,
where my
cool.
family's from, but I've gone to school here for 4 years, so kind of from Boston now.
Have you traced your roots all the way back? How far
Uh, I haven't personally. My grandfather has. I'm Irish, mostly of Irish descent, and we've lived in the States for at least four generations. So, and we're all from New England. Our family stayed here for the most part.
Do you like it?
I do like it. Yeah, I
Cool.
definitely consider myself a
You
native
like it?
New Englander.
You'll stay after you.
Well,
Depends, like.
I'm looking for a job right now.
Whatever they tell you, I guess.
yeah, I study sociology and psychology, and I want
Unless
to work
you're
in a
gonna work with
school
them. Okay.
as like a social worker, counselor of sorts, and then do more schooling later on.
Cool.
So that's what I'm doing. So I'll stick around here for a little bit,
Cool.
but traveling is great. Going abroad and doing new things,
Yeah.
which obviously you guys do
Yeah.
a fair amount of.
Yeah.
You're from the
California,
States
Newport
originally,
Beach.
obviously Newport Beach, and
Very white.
yeah,
Some
white
of the
area.
gardeners.
Yeah, they come from down south.
Yeah, from Mexico mostly. I mean, Westminster, people never think about it in these terms, but, Westminster has the largest population of Vietnamese people outside of Vietnam.
Really?
There's like 380,000 Vietnamese people. And that's the legacy of failed imperialism. When we lost the war, it was like everyone who was related to that puppet government got to come and live. And that's the deal, and that's why when you go to Minneapolis, there are 85,000 Somalians. It's because we backed these one guys that lost in Somalia at that
Yeah.
point. So now we have a different plan. It's called terrorism. But and it's the same thing in LA. They have Koreatown, and there's a couple 300,000 Koreans, and those were all the people that came from North Korea when we lost that was part of the thing.
Yeah.
They immediately came with us. They didn't defect.
Or
It's called failed imperialism. It's when you go to when you go to Britain and they have a bunch of people from Pakistan, it's like Britain got kicked out of Pakistan. All those people live there. Now,
Yeah.
that's why they immigrated. It isn't because, hey, we love Pakistanis, come immigrate in mass. Those were all the little side deals with like, okay, will you back us in this conflict or in this situation?
war deals.
Just it's like, no matter what, we got your back.
Yeah.
But anyways, this has nothing to do with our conversation.
Yeah. Fascinating nonetheless.
Well, people never think about it because America is against immigration in a lot of ways. Do you know how many, the lottery for Portuguese people, how many people from Portugal can immigrate to America every year?
No.
Take a wild guess.
It's a lottery system.
Yeah.
Jeez. I
Take a
don't know.
guess.
I mean, I want to guess at least at least a few thousand.
2 people a year are selected
Wow.
through the process.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's true.
2
interview.
people.
2 people. So that just shows you when 85,000 plus 30,000 in Georgia, Somalians come over at once.
Yeah.
But there's the hokey pokeys
all
going
at
on.
one time.
All
It's
at
true.
once. All at once.
Interesting.
Yep. Okay, so
Well,
anyways.
Well, now you live abroad, is that correct? In Belgium. Is that right?
Berlin.
Berlin. Excuse me. In Berlin. When did you move there?
Well, in 2007 and 8,
2007, 8, yeah.
My intention was to move from Manhattan to Iceland, but their economy sort of crashed. So it's a weird dynamic between me and my friends because I don't give a fuck about money, and their government froze everybody's bank accounts and devalued them by the currency by 1/3, which is exactly what will happen here. And never have that illusion because the Carnegies and the Rockefellers never made $1 billion of anything, and they owned everything.
Yeah.
So Marky Fuckface's zeros, imaginary zeros on his $50 billion gifting to his baby are meaningless. So one day they're going to readjust that because why do we need $50 billion bills every time Goldman Sachs for raise a pension or something?
True.
Everybody can't do that. Those straws are going to start costing $500 for a plastic straw at Dunkin' Donuts. See, it's just all imaginary. It has to be put back into some sort of perspective. You know what I mean?
I do.
But evidently that guy that did the wallpaper at Facebook made a killing. He said, "Don't pay me, just give me some stock."
Really?
On the first one.
That probably worked out all right.
It's like $5,000 worth of stock or whatever.
At the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Mm.
Wow.
Said I don't want to get paid, just get some stock in this.
A little stock. See where this goes.
Yeah. It's so funny.
Where are we now? In Boston. Paradise. In paradise. I take it you've been in Boston before.
Bunch of times.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite spot to play around here?
Not particularly. I just like to play music,
Yeah. Do you have a favorite kind of venue when you play out? Like a certain crowd or demographic you like playing in front of?
Well, I'm interested in more of a jazz experience than I am a rock star thing. I don't give a fuck. So, the type of room that I like is like a wooden floor that's raised up somehow, whether there's a basement or it's on the second floor of an old building with brick walls and only a limited amount of sound baffling, some really natural old sound, and everybody in a good mood.
Further down this road we get to Packard's Corner, which turns into Allston, which is a sub-neighborhood of Boston where there's a high density population of college kids who live there because it's a cheap neighborhood to live in. And naturally, being a college student myself, we go to a lot of parties there where there are these basements, sometimes just with a dirt floor, or a brick floor, or a crude cement floor.
Yeah, we used to do that.
Brick walls. You got, I don't know, what support pipes coming up, and a DJ. One DJ.
Best time.
I'm a musician myself. I do a little DJing too.
It's all fun.
One DJ with these brick walls, dirt floor, and everybody is loving it.
Yeah.
And
we
it's
used to do that all the time in San Francisco.
It's a great vibe.
Yeah,
so I think
favorite shows.
Yeah, San Fran. I've actually never been to the West Coast myself, but I gotta go there. It's about time. So I was just talking to a guitarist outside, and I was asking about the tour. He said it's going pretty well. How would you put it so far? It's only been...
We play like 3 hours a day, so...
It's a long time.
Yeah, it's a really long time. There's a reason people don't do that. And we're not really a jam band. I mean, there's tiny little elements where we let it go into the spacey area. Mm-hmm. But it's a lot of energy, so I find myself being really drained a little bit.
Yeah. Do you guys rest up while on the bus here?
Well, I do. I don't even leave the damn thing.
Yeah.
I physically don't have the energy to talk to everybody at once to see, there's a couple different levels. It's like, if somebody wants to talk about me, I know nothing about them, and I come in contact with so many people, it's like, why would I even care about you if I don't know anything about you? See how we talked about you and your family?
Yeah. Yeah.
And your roots?
Yeah.
Did you notice how I did that?
I did.
Because I don't give a fuck about you if I don't know anything about you. Just like Americans treat everybody else on the planet.
It's true.
They have no interest in the cultures they're destroying, because they don't know anything about them.
Do you think...
So why would they miss it if it's blown up? They knocked down fucking Libya or whatever. They don't know jack shit about Libya. They don't know anything about the Corinthians, the Roman Empire, the history, or anything, So, it's just like some other place on the map that they don't know about. Anyway, so, I don't have the energy to sit there and teach that lesson to everybody else, about learning from each other, on a daily basis. So I just camp out.
Camp out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you guys sleep much here? Do you get sleep on the road, or?
I go out I'm right in the middle of an interview. I go, right to sleep, I finish and eat, because I work all over the world. I'm on every time zone, so I deal with whatever comes up in front of me at that time. And then I go to sleep. I turn on BBC4 and just go to sleep.
I've wondered about that, being on tour, having never been on tour, a world tour myself. How do you deal with what time zone you're in? How do you deal with your internal clock of what is morning and what is night when you're constantly traveling? How does that work?
My experience, when you go someplace, you stay up till around 11 at night, you drink some water and you go to sleep, and you just immediately jump into the rhythm of whatever, and you just deal with it.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to go back. It's very hard to go back to Berlin.
Yeah.
From Australia or something, it's just like, it's mental.
Yeah. I can imagine.
And these flights, even coming over here was a 24-hour. With layovers, it was 24 hours from Berlin just to get to Austin.
Wow.
That was just like...
It's a long time.
It's insane. It's what a waste of time.
So it's kind of just like, you wake up, and as long as you're doing what you need to do that day and get sleep at some point, it just keeps going.
Yeah, you just try and get into the rhythm of life and just go about what you need to do.
Yeah.
And I've always found that when your body complains, that it's kind of cool to just go, if you want to fucking be a pussy, I'll just run a marathon. There we go, we're back in the action. Let me see, I'll get this too. There we go, we got some light now. That light is fading.
There we go.
Okay, so I only moved closer so we're both in the frame.
Yeah.
But it's working pretty good. I said that's why I moved closer so it can be
Do you stream often?
Yeah, I have my own
Every
TV
day?
show, but I'm also a writer for
Yeah.
International Times. And I think this is really interesting because whatever you choose to write, it's like, and if it goes on the internet, it shows you what we actually talked about, not what you thought I said, what I actually said.
Yeah, it'll record it right here.
It's recording and broadcasting, and somebody's watching.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it'll be on YouTube within a half hour.
Cool. So getting back to the tour, you guys have got a relatively new album out.
Well, we've got a bunch of stuff. We just continuously
Yeah.
put out stuff, but right now there's a new single coming. It's Fingertips and a French version. Before that, I think there was the Pish EP, mini album. Before that, it was the Plus Minus and Music for Imaginary Films. And then before that, I guess it was Revelation and more singles and Record Store Day and all that crap. And it just keeps going and going and going.
It's ongoing.
But I recorded two albums before I left the studio.
Really?
And 8 singles, 2 remixes for Primal Scream, and a couple songs for Charlton's UK. Yeah, it's really good. I should play that for you. It's really good.
Interesting. So you just keep cranking away, writing songs,
Yeah.
producing, mixing. It just goes and goes.
Exactly.
That's fascinating. As kind of a hobby musician myself, been in bands, done DJing, done some music production and stuff. I just find it hard to find the time to really sit down and focus and say, this is what I'm going to do with this song today. And
Well,
very personal.
see, Thank you. See,
Yeah.
I enjoy being creative.
Sure.
There we go. You know, I feel a lot of things all the time, and I have a lot more energy than other people, a lot more top end of my intellect and all this other jazz. So it's like a creative outlet for me to express myself, and it's a magic mirror. So I could have like it could be anything that sets me off. You know, one day I was listening to this BBC program, and they were talking about the million during the India's battle with Pakistan for the creation of Bangladesh. They raped 1 million women, and the first thing the Bangladeshis did is they made them all heroes in the struggle for the birth of their nation, instead of the stigmatized, you were raped and abused by 10 guys.
Yeah.
And something like that realization, or listening to these people talk about that situation, will just sour me on humanity. So I can go in and just make music, and fast forward, somebody listens to what I'm doing and they don't even know anything about that. They just get whatever they want out of it. So it's like this magic process, like composting almost. You know what I mean? Of taking something that could be negative to me, that I express myself, and then it's somebody else. It's a magic machine. They don't get any of that. They're like, I just love that song. It touches me in this way, and then I don't have to dwell on anything. I don't have to look for negative inspiration or a depressing situation or whatever. You know, trigger some sort of destructive, depressing outlook, right? Over time, I want to radiate the full spectrum of human emotion. There is no shortage with your awareness of that going on. It could be this spring has sprung and you feel really good, or your kid says something, it's the first word or whatever, and it could be this radio program that I listen to. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I just try and capture that every day of me going and working, because I know that in Eastern philosophy, you know, the earth has a tone, and then every day there's a shade of this ragas 2 times a day, and you're just tapping into it, even though the drone is always there. There's a different one going on all the time, and you just have to listen and interact with that. So that's what I'm into.
I like you use the word composting.
Yeah.
It's almost like things go on around us that a lot of people, media certainly, will portray as, in a dramatic effect of negativity, of fear. And to be someone who takes that not only perhaps with a positive outlook, maybe not even with a positive outlook, but with I'm going to compost that, not necessarily recycle, but transform this thing I've learned about, this thing I've read, this thing I've seen, this thing that's happened into an expression of art, into an expression.
Well, the sickness is that everybody's like, oh, I can't do anything about it, so I'm just going to go fucking win big in the stock market and fuck all these people, fuck all those black people begging for money, the welfare scroungers or whatever. And you know, it's just bullshit. It's just bullshit, because you don't have to do everything. You don't have to be Jesus, but you know, you have to interact and do what you feel is right. And if you feel what you feel is right is getting paid in full and looking out for just your own, then you're a fool, because it's in your best interest. To sort of help out when you can. I've got a glitch, obviously, but that's okay.
Alright. I had to get a new,
It's in your best interest to help out anonymously. And to spread that awareness. And recycling vibes and setting that example is helping out anonymously. You know, it's more important than showing that you have a facade that says that you're some super rich rock star or something. Because I'll tell you about the New Kids on the Block. Who fucking cares, right? How big were they? We'll go even farther back. How about Leif Garrett, man? That guy was everywhere. Donny Osmond.
Yeah.
You know? I'll just go all the way back. None of it matters. It's all just temporary. You know?
Yeah. Things come and go.
Elvis.
Change.
Elvis was eclipsed by who? Rihanna? I don't know. It's all just a joke
Yeah.
now. It's all make-believe.
And everyone else,
Rihanna's
whole
make-believe. They'll just go, oops, Samsung paid me $6 million. We accidentally leaked the album. Everybody press the button now to hear it. It's like, oh, you're platinum. Everybody press the button. Bunch of fucking suckers, you know?
Yeah.
She sold 500 copies and went.
I don't know.
She went platinum for selling 500 copies. I sold more records that week than she did. So it's just like, I didn't get more people to click the button. But I don't look like she does naked, you know?
Take part of the filter off.
Yeah, I don't smoke filtered cigarettes. I find that you inhale deeper. You're sucking on those things. I just smoke a little and then throw it away.
While I have you here, have
you
ever heard
my
of...
point being that she looks better in a bikini than I do.
Point made.
Okay.
Point taken. That she probably does. And, you know, that's worth what it's worth, and you're worth what you're worth. Musically, if that's how we're speaking, it's two different worlds for sure. Have you ever heard of a DJ group called the Chainsmokers? They did a big single 2 or 3 years ago called Selfie, which was like a mega viral hit, and they've had a couple big songs out recently, one called Roses and another called Don't Let Me Down. They're all, you know, mainstream mega pop hits. I just bring them up because I'm from Maine, and I know one of the guys in the group who, when I was in a band when I was younger, he was in a band when he was younger, and we played rock and roll, you know, in different stylings, and he played rock and roll, like gritty, almost punk, gritty rock, and I remember looking at him and saying, wow, that's incredibly unique, even the presentation of it. And now the years go on, he gets into music production, he gets into this EDM scene, and becomes the Chainsmokers, selling multi-platinum singles in
so
just such a short few years.
It's so funny, the rise of Molly and all of that stuff, because actually most of that music sounds like shit when you're on it.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually much better music when you're high on related drugs. I mean, there's lots of crazy music. But people people are brainwashed that much that they're just like what's actually happening is they're incapacitated by the drug, but they have no. See, 1 in 10,000 people have musical aptitude. That doesn't mean that they can play an instrument. It just means that they hear the harmony of the spheres and celestial mathematics. They can identify with Bach. They're like, oh, that guy was on something. That's why they teach him in school, because he understood the actual mathematics. He could just do it endlessly. And that's what jazz people do. They go off on the corners of these tangents, great jazz, of the leftover bits. They go off on these and find the related logic to these progressions for these chords. See, they do these. But these people don't understand anything, you know. They don't understand anything.
It's all like in the moment.
Well, everything that's popular is bullshit. Everything has this. If it's popular, it has the same exact thing as something else already had it. It's not unique from anything. See, there's no such thing as popular music that's unique. It's just repackaged in a slightly different way, but it's still gonna have the boom, 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 boom. It's gonna be the same fucking shit over and over again. You listen to the radio, it's gonna be the same crap no matter what. It's going to be the same. There's no chance for real ideas. There hasn't been a real chance for so long for real things to actually surface in the media in Hollywood.
And as you mentioned, Hollywood, and as I'm thinking,
it's nothing personal. It's just business. It's not art.
Yeah. How do you, as an artist, who has a successful musical career in so many ways, how do you balance the strive towards authenticity and how do you balance?
You don't have to strive. All you have to do is be yourself. See, like people go, "Oh, you just wish you're from the '60s or something," and I'm like, "I was born in 1967. That means I'm from the '60s. Fuck off." Right? That's incontrovertible. August 29th, 1967 is my birthday. Fuck you all. So I could do whatever I want. See, I'm not pretending to be a black blues artist like Eric Clapton might have been at the time or whatever, right? I'm not pretending to be John Lee Hooker or Blind Willie McDowell or something else, or like Bob Dylan pretending to be Woody Guthrie. I'm actually just being me, you know?
Yeah.
So that's okay. See, there's a big difference when that happens. So it's effortless for me. I just do what I want to do, and just explore that infinite thing until my body gives out, I guess.
And so in that though,
yeah,
there are financial demands on everybody in this world these days.
I'm really successful at what I do because determination, it's nothing else. People might say this, that, or the other. People might say, "Oh, you're only popular because there was a movie," but they forget that the William Morris Agency sent two filmmakers to me, and I fucking took over their movie. It was about 10 other bands. In the movie itself, if you need evidence, it goes, I look right into the camera and say, "Tell me you've never heard of the Dandy Warhols before." "We've never heard of the Dandy Warhols." Boom! The show is on. They can't even... They're so stupid with their egos, they can't even fucking take... They can't even take that out of the... So she could say, "Oh, this is about me, I'm a great director." But it's not. See, that's the weird thing. It wasn't about her. And it wasn't a documentary. That's why it says written by Andy Timoner. It was an edited contraption out of real footage. It's like, oh, here's our story as we see it, you know? But she had no vision for an archetype. So, what I was saying is, oh, let me kill this. So what I was saying about the dandies, or whatever I said in the movie, was I was saying that, you know, that was the story right there, as I saw it, and she didn't possess that vision. So that's as much as I'll talk about that, but I can back up what I'm saying. That's why I'm not interested in really going into it. I just said it as an example about our success. See, in my mind, our success is due to just carrying on. It's going to happen no matter what.
And that's, what I think, from my perspective, and what I think some other people's perspective was originally, even though I, for one, became a fan after the movie came out, maybe just before I even saw the movie. I heard of Brian Jonestown Massacre and got a couple CDs of yours. I saw the documentary and started.
Let's fast forward back to that for 1 second.
Yeah.
In the movie, what I just said was the interesting thing to me is that I can articulate a sentence with more than 23 words in it and make perfect sense, be understood. And there's none of that in the movie. And I was talking all kinds of stuff. I showed her my Master Mason books where it says, "No Jews are allowed inside the temple." It's like the Masonic temple. how many Jews do I know are Master Masons? And I was like freaking those guys out. They're all Jewish. I was like, check it out. You went to Hebrew school. How come I have these 10 characters in Hebrew right here that you've never seen before? I was like, you knew it all. What do these ones mean? What's being kept from you? You know, and all this shit. You know, I was like going off. You know, spy cameras against the music industry when they were sending hookers with cocaine, representing themselves as A&R scouts for the label. You know, with fucking credit cards. Yeah, that's what they do.
Wow.
You know what I mean? They'll do any trick in the book. Fuck you. Get you high on coke, whatever it takes to get you to fucking sign that paper. Throwing money at you.
Huh.
You know, and I filmed all that stuff with spy cameras, and lo and behold, none of it got into the movie. Not only because, because they weren't CBS, they didn't want to fuck with it. You know, they just sold out. And then the version of the film that had all that, some of that shit, won Sundance, and then they just edited it again, so they didn't have the release forms, and they didn't even have my release form. I just said, I tricked them. See, I never signed a release, and I said, then when they sent me to a lawyer's office to watch the original movie, I saw it, and they slapped a fucking 1,800-page contract in front of me, and I was like, okay, I'll just be taking this binder, 3-wing binder with me, and they're like, no, you're not. You have to sign it right here. I was like, you want me to sign this fucking thing right here? I'll tell you what, I'll sign a piece of paper that says you have a festival license to go show that at Sundance, because I'm not going to prevent you from showing your work. You know, that's against the law.
Yeah.
You know what law it's against? The pursuit of happiness. That's what's in the Constitution. If you're depriving somebody of their art or their ability to do their work, you know, then you're going to lose that court case. So I just said, you guys can show the film. And then it won, and she sold it, and immediately they re-edited it. So it's not what it appears today to be. I mean, I could sue her technically right now because that film didn't win Sundance. Another film did. So they re-edited it after the fact because they couldn't get the permission slips to show all these monkeys trying to screw us over and all their dirty mafia tricks.
When you say her, you mean
Auntie
Timor?
Yeah, Timoner.
Timoner, excuse me.
I hate that.
You know, I have notes on this. I was going to ask you about, you know, artists you work with today, but also artists and groups you've worked with in the past and your relationship with the Dandies. We don't have to spend a lot of time on that, but you guys keep in touch?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
As I understand, they're on tour right now as well.
Exactly.
Are you guys planning on meeting up in the next few months at all?
No, but we might tour in the future together. I don't know.
That would be incredible.
Well, it'll be incredible if it's retroactive and not retro in its nature. You know what I mean? Because I'm a very forward-thinking person. I don't need to go skipping down memory lane when I have Google Maps to fucking show me the whole universe or whatever, right? Sure. Explore the craters on the moon if you like. But I don't need to fucking go like, oh.
Look it up right now.
You know what I mean? It's like I don't need to go fucking let's pretend.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, you know, the documentary presents a 7-year period in a very specific way.
Yeah.
It purports to.
They didn't have an ending, see, so they kept trying to sabotage it. See, their perfect idea.
You know, it presents a plot, essentially. And,
but it's make-believe. It's a fucking TV show like the Kardashians.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It was a prototype for that bullshit.
Yeah, with a label of documentary.
Yeah, but it's a lie. You can't write a documentary, so it isn't even. They market it as a documentary, but you look and it says written by. How do you write a documentary? A documentary is a document. You take shorthand down of events using a digital medium, and then you edit it. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But how do you write a documentary? It's like, I just wrote this story. You know, it's like, no, you're actually documenting what happened. Or you're talking about what happened.
Yeah.
You write the dialogue, you write the editor's shit, you do whatever. I made the fucking, you know what I mean? But you don't, the narration, you write those things, whatever.
Right.
You don't fucking.
How do you feel about, since the documentary?
I don't.
Well, how do you feel about, how do you think that has affected the path the band has taken since
it hasn't taken anything.
Different, you think? Like,
no.
You guys just progressed as you were going to.
No, I progressed as... There's no you guys. I progressed as I progressed. guys.
Sure.
It's self-evident. Who in the film is it back here besides Joel? And Joel quit. So what's the big deal?
Joel's
Joel's here. But I kept making records. So what is the fucking deal? I started out making the records, and I'm still making the records. So what do you think?
That's a good point.
Well, it is a good point because the shit doesn't magically appear.
So, on that subject, the band.
Yeah.
What is the Brian Jonestown Massacre to you? And are you the band?
No.
Does there need to be other people?
No, because you got to understand. Okay, it's conceptual art. Like, I press record and make stuff up. I don't sit there and try. I don't pull out a record from my thing and go, okay, today I'm going to be Duran Duran. Let's make this fucking record like I'm the Horrors or something. Let's become Talk Talk. Yesterday we were the Flaming Groovies, and now we're this new thing. I don't go, hi, I'm the Kills. Let's be the White Stripes and Jesus and Mary Chain at once, but let's do it a little bit better than A Place to Bury Strangers. Fuck that. What I do is make up music, okay? I play like 80 instruments. I just follow my inspiration. So then it lives or it dies in the live environment, which is a totally different animal. See, when I make stuff up, I'm not trying to make it perfect, like the Stone Roses or something, and have people go, you guys are 60 years old and you'll never make that fucking first record again. Beck can never outdo Sea Change. You can only make a different flavor. It's recorded immaculately. The songs are sculpted. He's doing the perfect version of Nick Drake, you know, and now he can only become the next thing he wants to become all the way. Radiohead cannot make a better fucking record than they've already made. They just make a different record and everybody can go, I'm thankful for their new record. But they can't make a better record.
Is that true, do you think? What makes...
It's absolutely true. How many fucking records from Radiohead do you have to hear that are exactly the same? It's Tom moaning over whatever the background music is. Exactly the same. It doesn't go any new place. It's just their adventure, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
But it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't go anywhere there.
It's almost like a plateau, I feel like, from what I'm hearing.
See, what I could do is I could go with Tony Visconti and record the next fucking Cosmic Dancer, because I've never been bothered to try and record a fucking Abbey Road to make something sound good. I'm interested in conceptual art. See, the minute I make something that captures this, that triggers the suspension of disbelief, well then I go, that's good enough, because I don't want an albatross around my neck. I want it to be able to scare people live with this music. I don't want them to go, well, it wasn't as good as the record, or it sounds exactly like the record. I hate that. I want people to automatically go, I want to start a band, I could do that. I want it to be the opposite of going, oh, he's so cool. Fuck that. I want it to be like, fuck that. My grandma plays auto harp, I think I'm going to buy one too. You know, because there's nothing that Paul McCartney ever has done in his life to fucking lead you to believe that you could be Paul McCartney, because he can't. Right? So he just fucking basks in all his adoration about, oh, yeah, I'm Paul. You know? When fuck that. You should be like, shit, man. I want... Which is the cool thing about Johnny Rotten, because when he became scene and dressed up the way he did and acted the way he did, and everybody pretended to be Johnny Rotten, they instantly became themselves because they couldn't be Johnny Rotten. But it triggered this folk thing, the folk phenomena. But it's exactly the opposite of all the fucking wiggers trying to be hip-hop guys all being exactly the same.